Going to have an employees benefit presentation followed with the accounting and reporting by retirement plans. So chapters are very simple chapters, and some extra reading, especially when you go for employees benefits and for reporting. But retirement plans also would be recommended. So without further ado, I just first group of presenters to come to the screen and share their thoughts with their presentations. Is it the group presenters ready? Going to represent for chapter employees benefit. Hello?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, we are ready, Doctor.
Yeah, okay. Based on your preparations.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yeah, we are waiting you.
Okay, hi. Assalamualaikum. Dengar kan?
Dengar.
Okay. Okay, hi. Assalamualaikum. I'm Fariza, and my team. My team is Kavin Kumar, Nurul Shafika, Siti Sohaila, Umi Kalsum. Okay, so today we are from Group 9. We'll explain to all of you about employee benefits. Okay, next. Okay, this is the overall content that we will share with you today. Okay, next. Okay, so first one is about definition. Okay, so the first one is in June 2011, MESB issue revision to MFRS 119 employee benefits, which contract significant changes in the recognition, presentation, and disclosure of post-employment benefits. And then MFRS 119 revised also changes the accounting for termination benefits and short-term employment benefits, along with the several more minor clarification and rewarding of the standard. And then the changes are expected to improve the comparability and understandability of the changes that arising from defined benefits plans by removing option and requiring entitled to recognize changes immediately. And then this is intended to provide user of financial statement with a much clearer picture of an entitled obligation resulting from the provision of defined benefits, plans, and how this obligation will affect the entity. And then employee compensation is an essential area of the accounting as the related costs represent a significant part of the financial statement. And next. And then this entity needs to aware of these changes and carefully consider that potential implication. For example, like Genting Group Berhad offer comprehensive and flexible package to promote a better quality of life for employees and their families, which include a competitive salary scheme and bonus, training and development, scholarship, loan, leave entitlement, medical and hospitalization, insurance, dental coverage, and retirement benefits. Also, other benefits that include meal card, staff discount for hotel room, booking, and selected international show that concern features at the resort. This is all this some intro about our topic today. Okay, next. Okay, employee include director, and other management personnel. MFRS 119 is applied to all employee benefits except those who wish MFRS 2 share base payment applies. The standard identifies four categories of employee benefit. The first one is short-term employee benefits. The second one is post-employment benefits. The third one is other long-term employee benefits. And then the last one is termination benefits. Okay, next. Okay, so our second point is about short-term employee benefits. Next. Okay, so for the basic principle, MFRS 119 is generally based on the following principle. The first one, a liability occur expenses after deducting any amount already paid. The second one, as expense unless another IFRS required or permits the inclusion of the benefits in the cost of an asset. For example, MFRS 102 inventories, MFRS 116 PPE, property, plant and equipment, which the amount is capitalized or debited to the asset. If the amount already paid exceed the expenses, how should the extra will be recognized? Will it classify as an liability or an asset? The assets is recognized as a prepayment in the statement if financial position as part of the current asset item. Next. And then the second point is about paid annual leave. Some company allow their employee to roll over any unused annual leave to the following years. In such cases, the company must recognize liability for the monetary value of this unused leave and expense this amount in the period the leave is accrued but not taken. This means more monies for the employee as they may be paid for the unused leave. Next. Okay, the third point is about profit sharing and bonus plan. Under some profit sharing plan, employee will receive the share of the profit only if they remain with the entity for the specific period. An entity should recognize the expected cost of the profit sharing and bonus payment when and only when the first one is the entity has a present legal or constructive obligation to make such payment as the result of the past event. The second one, a reliable estimate of the obligation can be made. Okay, a present obligation exists when and only when the entity has no realistic alternative but to make a payment. Next. That's all from me. Thank you. The next.
Hello, can you hear me?
Saya dengar.
Yes.
Okay, my name is Umi Kalsum and my metric number is 050069. Okay, I will present about the post-employment benefits. Post-employment benefit plans are classified either defined contribution plans or defined benefit plans. First, we go to defined contribution scheme. The definition of the defined contribution scheme is post-employment benefit plans under which an entity pays a fixed contributions to fund. The entity has no legal or constructive obligation to pay further contributions if the fund does not hold sufficient assets to pay all employee benefits relating to employee service in the current and prior periods. For example, at Malaysia, we have Employees Provident Fund or known as EPF. Okay, now we go to the accounting treatment for the defined contribution scheme. First, the accounting treatment for defined contribution scheme is fairly simple. The employer's obligation for each period is determined by the amount that has to be contributed to the scheme for that period. B. An actuary's advice is not needed. The calculations of actuarial gains or loss are not necessary. Next, the employer recognizes the contribution payable at the end of each period based on the employee's service during that period. Next is if the employer has made payment in excess of the required amount, this excess is treated as a prepayment. The last one is discounting. Discounting is not necessary unless it takes more than one reporting period. The contribution is measured at present value of money. Usually, the contribution amount is paid in the following month. Okay, now we go to the defined benefit plans. The definition of the defined benefit plans is all other post-employment benefit plans other than defined contribution plans that may be unfunded or may be wholly or partly funded. For example, pension and gratuity. The benefits may be in the form of cash payments or could be in kind in terms of medical or other benefits. Okay, we go to the accounting treatment for defined benefits plans. A. There are two main accounts present in the statement of financial position as net defined benefit liability or asset, which is the net total of defined benefit obligation or DBO and the plant asset or PA. Okay, there are two situations. Firstly, if DBO less than PA, therefore reporting is a surplus. In this case, the net defined benefit asset will be recognized under non-current asset in the statement of financial position. The situation is if DBO is more than PA. Therefore, reporting is a deficit. Thus, the net defined benefit liability is recognized under non-current liability in the statement of financial position. Okay, the second one is discounting of the defined benefit obligation is used because the obligations will often be settled several years upon completion of the service after retirement. Okay, next is in the case of a fund scheme based on the actuary's advice, the entity is required to make contributions into the plan asset so that there are sufficient funds available when an employee retires. As this represents a retirement investment fund, it should be measured at fair value. D. Determine the amounts to be recognized in the statement of profit or loss. First, we have to determine the current service cost. Current service cost, also known as current period pension cost. It is determined by an actuarial valuation. It will be affected by assumptions such as expected turnover of staff, average retirement age, the plan's vesting schedule, life expectancy after retirement. The current service cost is measured at present value, and the entity will recognize an increase in the present value of the defined benefit obligation with a corresponding charge to the statement of profit or loss. Okay, now we go to the next presenter. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Siti Syaila binti Muhammad Sabri. My matric number is 050235. I will explain the second point. The second point is price service cost. Price service cost follows a change in the plan terms due to an amendment or curtailment. This has effect of increasing the pension obligation account. The next point is net interest expense. Net interest expense is determined by multiplying the net defined benefit liability by the discount rate, both determined at the beginning of the annual reporting period. The net interest recognized in the statement of profit or loss comprise first interest expense on defined benefit obligation. Pension obligation is measured at present value. Second, interest income on planned asset or retirement investment fund. Next. The last point is compute the net remeasurement gains or loss of the net defined benefit liability to be recognized in other comprehensive income, which consists of three components, which are first, actuarial gains and loss, second, return on planned assets, and lastly, any change in the effect of the asset ceiling. Next, I will explain the contrast between defined contribution scheme and defined benefit scheme. Firstly, characteristic. For defined contribution scheme, entity pays fixed contribution into a separate entity, while for defined benefit scheme, entity's obligation is to pay an agreed amount of benefit. Second, risk. For defined contribution scheme, borne by employees as they have a free choice of investment and thus solely bear the actuarial and investment risk. While for defined benefit scheme, borne by employer or the entity, so an actuary's advice is essential. Third, discounting. For defined contribution scheme, it is not needed as amount is payable within 12 months, while for defined benefit scheme, it is needed as the pension scheme is payable after retirement. Lastly, accounting treatment. For defined contribution scheme, accounting treatment is simple, while for defined benefit scheme, the accounting treatment is complex. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum and good evening. My name is Nurul Shafika binti Muhammad. My matrix number is 049898. I will explain about the fund service cost and asset ceiling test. Firstly, let's look at the fund service cost. Next. Past service cost is the term used when there is a change in the present value of the defined benefit obligation for employee service in prior period. It is a result of changes to plan arrangement in the current period. The change is caused by making a plan amendment or curtailment. Plan amendment is occurred when a defined benefit plan is introduced or the benefit payable by the entity has changed in the existing defined benefit plan. Meanwhile, curtailment may occur when an entity is reducing the number of employees covered in a plan. Other than that, past service costs may be either positive or negative. It will be positive when the benefits are introduced or improved to increase the present value of the defined benefit obligation, and it will be negative when the existing benefits are reduced to decrease the present value of the defined benefit obligation. Past service costs must be recognized by the entity before the date of plan amendment or curtailment has occurred, and before the entity recognizes restructuring costs under MFRS 137, provision, contingent liabilities, and contingent assets. Sometimes, past service costs from a plan amendment and curtailment may occur together with gain or loss on settlement. Before that, the net defined benefit liability or asset is required to be remeasured. When these transactions occur together, an entity do not have to distinguish them. That's it about the past service cost. Next, let's go through about the asset ceiling test. Next, asset ceiling test is applied if the net balance in the statement of financial position is a surplus, which is the net defined benefit asset. It is resulting from the planned asset exceeding the defined benefit obligation. The standard MFRS 119 employees benefit limits the scope of measurement for the net defined benefit asset recognized in the statement of financial position. The measurement must be lower than the surplus in the defined benefit plan calculated in the statement of financial position and lower than the present value of benefits available in the form of refund from the plan or reduction in future contribution in the plan. After that, asset ceiling test is also applied to determine the minimum net pension asset amount that will be recoverable in the form of refund or when the contribution in the future is reduced. Asset ceiling test is perfected after the plan amendment, curtailment or settlement is accounted in the profit or loss. The effect might be reducing or eliminating the surplus of net defined benefit asset, and it will impact on how the asset ceiling is measured. That's all from me. Let's proceed with the next presenter. Thank you for your attention.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
So hi, I'm Kevin Kumar and I'll be presenting about projected unit credit method. Next. So the projected unit credit method is consider expected future pay increases in the calculation of liability and normal cost. The POC normal cost is the estimated present value of the projected benefit current plan members that they will earn in the following year with the valuation date. It represents today's value of 1 year of earned benefits. Next. So next will be the curtailment and settlement. Next. So curtailment is a significant impact on the entity's financial statement and are often linked with restructuring or reorganization. Settlement is the lump sum cash payment made to or on behalf of plan participants in exchange for the right to receive specified future benefits. The gain or loss on a recruitment and statement is any resulting changes in the present value of the defined benefit obligation or in the future value of the plan asset. Next. Next will be the termination benefit. Next. So, a termination benefit liability is recognized when the entity can no longer withdraw the offer of those benefit when the employee accepts the offer, or when a restriction like legal, regulatory, or contractual requirement or any other restriction on the entity's ability to withdraw the offer take effect. A termination benefit liability is also recognized when the entity recognizes a provision for restructuring costs. Thank you. Next will be conclusion.
Okay, next I will explain about the disclosure for MFRS 119. Next. MFRS 119 sets out the following disclosure objectives in relation to defined benefit plans. First, an explanation of the characteristics of an entity's defined benefit plans and the associated risks. Second, identification and explanation of the amounts arising in the financial statements from defined benefit plans. And lastly, a description of how
Could you
defined
please
benefit
pause
plans.
for 2 minutes or 3 minutes? Hello, presenters. Hello, presenters. Could you just please pause for
Yes.
2 minutes or 3 minutes to allow Azan? Pause for
Okay.
2 or 3 minutes to allow Azan.
Okay.
So, Alhamdulillah, we just finished on the chapters of M. A few important point, which is what kind of the short-term benefit whenever in your companies, and what kind of the long-term benefit that you need to claim whenever. Okay, actually this benefit are really meaningful in order to sustain your style. After that, going to be untreated fairly, necessity things going to be properly handled and going to be properly even though you just being separately terminated by the business organizations. That was on the last chapter for this course, which is accounting for retirement plans. So I just passed these sessions to the presenters to come to the screen. Hello, is it the presenters ready for this last chapter? Hello.
Hello, Doctor. Hello. Hello,
The
Doctor.
last chapter.
Our
Yeah.
presentation is like quite similar like the previous group. Is it okay? We just share the slide? Yeah.
It's quite similar.
I don't know which who's on the. Never mind. I just share the slide. One minute, Doctor.
Okay. I just would like to remind something about your write-up, class. Actually, I'm reviewing your presentations done, and some of the groups have prepared it very well. Let's notice there is some groups are not really sincere whenever they submit their write-up to me. Okay, I'm going to give you a second chance, and I hope this group going to improve their write-up to the expectation level. Okay. Okay, there is one group having more than 17% of the similarities, and I can say put written explanations put in the write-up based on the copy and paste works. So please bear in mind also, you should not do that whenever I give you a second chance, and please also do not ever copy and paste whenever I'm going to do the same thing. Every answer script prepared by the students going to be uploaded. So in this case, I strongly recommend you to put your own words, regardless whether it is correct or not. I'm not looking for the accuracy. I'm looking for your understanding and your efforts. Okay. So because similarities is not should be prepared by the professional accounting student like bachelor accounting student. Okay. Personally, after this group, or I will let the class rep remind this group to improve. Okay. If you still didn't want to improve this write up, so your marks will be not really impressive after this. Okay. So you can start for the last group. This group going to realize how they have prepared their write up. It's quite frustrating actually. I'm quite impressed when I have a very outstanding effort prepared by some of the group words in very good written report actually. Even though this is just a written report, but to have a copy and paste words. No, where is your integrity? Where is your ethics? Where is your maturity in this case? Okay. So I hope you got my point. Okay. So now we just proceed whatever that we have. Hello. Sophie, could you please proceed with your presentation?
Yes, yes. My friend is doing it. Now, doctor.
For the introduction, in Malaysia at present, the Employee Provident Fund (EPF) receives public pension contribution and invests money, a maximum of 20%, which is contributed by a company and also by the employee itself through EPF into a single mutual fund. Public servants do receive pension every month after their retirements, and some do also opt for private retirement scheme (PRS) was introduced in
Hello, I cannot hear anything from you.
Maybe the line is not good, doctor, because we have record the voice for the slide actually. Hello?
Sorry, doctor. Actually, we're having some technical problem. We
Not
can't
hear
hear the
anything from
sound
you. Or if you take
Yeah,
okay, if that's so,
from the.
if that's so, do you want to have another last presentations?
yeah, doctor, if you don't mind.
Actually, I can just finish this presentation at this moment.
Oh, if you don't mind, it's okay. If you
To you,
can,
whether you need to have another session to arrange your
can,
setup.
doctor, can.
You're waiting your groups actually. Is there something that you are working on it?
Hold on, doctor. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. One,
5 minutes.
2 minutes. Sorry. 2 minutes.
We can have a last class on next week.
Okay, doctor. Sorry for the inconvenience.
If you want. Okay. And okay, actually, let me share captured from the turn-in system for your written report. I need to be honest this time. Have you seen the my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, doctor.
Hello, can you see my screen at this moment?
Yes.
Okay, see, group which is very good. Group 7 got 8%, very good. Group 6 got 34%, which is can be improved further. Also got 44%, which is can be improved further. Group 10, which is totally not acceptable because you're just having 10% just now. Percent. One just have 11%, which is also acceptable. So I will give you a second chance for group 6 and prove your write-up. Otherwise, I cannot accept your words to be considered as part of your written report. So especially for group 10, for your effort, as well as group 4 and group 6. Please try to think how group 3 and group 7 can do. Also group 1 also can do better than others. Okay. So learning online is we cannot make an excuse by having sitting together, discuss together. No, we are having a lot of technology at this moment. Okay, and I'm very sure most of the students nowadays on preparing your gadgets, right? So looking at this range of the seniority report, I actually not really impressed. One and group 3. It shows your sincerity, okay? So how come you can expect me to help you if you yourself doesn't effort on your written report? Okay? Give you a second chance for these 3 groups. Inshallah, you still have chance to and you have 1 week to improve your marks until next meeting. Okay? Since we still not finished, we are going to have another last class on next week. Okay? I will pass this preliminary report to the class rep, and maybe class rep can to the presenters. Okay? So with that, I just end up our class with Tasbih Kafarah and some class. Yes.
Sorry, but my group already submitted the group assignment, group 8 last December, I guess, but I didn't see my my group on the screen.
Put your written report in the Google Drive.
Yeah, I already submitted the report on the
No,
Google Drive. And I already WhatsApp to doctor about my group report.
Put your written report on the Google Drive.
Yeah, on the link that Ashraf
No, I'm
provided in the
asking
group.
you, have you put your written report?
Yes, I already did.
Have you put your written report in the Google Drive?
Yes.
This is by class rep. Where is your written report in the Google Drive? I just got 6 files here. But it's okay. Nur, right? Nur Izzah Hidayah. It's okay, Nur
Yes,
Izzah.
doctor.
You can just put your written report. You can just put your written report in the class rep. Okay. For that,
Okay.
I'm not going to miss your written report.
Oh, all right. Thank you, doctor.
Okay, okay. So for this 3 group, you are going to get your similarities report from your class rep after this. So improve your written report. I'm trying to give you a chance to give you a good marks. So after all, it's just up to you based on your ability on how to get a good marks on your written report. Okay. So with that, I just end up our class with Tasbih Kafarah and Sultan. Assalamualaikum.